Yes, sir. YouTube, Blow Yard Game, podcast listeners all over the globe, guys. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cap and Crown, episode 76. No Philly. Listen, if you guys are into NBA content, guys, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Join us here every Monday evening, Wednesday evening, and Friday mornings as we get our NBA talk on. As you already know, I'm your boy Relle. No King tonight, but he will be back with us tomorrow. We'll have another special show for you guys tomorrow morning here on the channel. But listen, like I said, if you guys are new, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Join us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, man, as we continue to talk about NBA content, whether it be trades, it be, draft prospects, it be hot takes, post games for the different games that we show on Playback. We are definitely here for that. Hopefully, man, I don't have no technical difficulty. That's why it took me so long to start. My computer's tripping right now. I don't know why. But anyway, yeah, glad you guys are here. There was a game tonight, man, that we watched over on Playback. We had the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Houston Rockets. So if you guys were over there with us on Playback, man, we're glad you're joining us here for the post game. We're going to talk about that tonight. Or should I say, I'm going to talk about that tonight. But yeah, we're going to get into it, man. But before I start with that, I got to stop and show some love to Fanatics.
This I Was Told segment is brought to you by the folks over at Fanatics. Fanatics is the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love the most, including WWE. You can earn fan cash to redeem them in your orders, jersey protection for when your favorite player is traded or changes teams. They also have an unrivaled selection of authentic fan gear and Fanatics exclusives that are only available on the site. So if you need some merch and are interested in helping the channel, scan the QR code on the screen or follow the link, which is always in the description.
All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get to this recap. All right, man. I'm going to put that in the people's face. So check it out. The Houston Rockets win 114-104 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Rockets shot 41 of 90 for 46%. Cleveland shot 36 of 81 for 44%. 3-point percentage. The Rockets shot 9 of 24 for 38%. Cleveland shot 12 of 39 for 31%. Free throws. 23 of 27 for 85% for the Rockets. 20 of 32 for 63% for the Cavaliers. Rebound battle was won by the Rockets 51-39. Offensive rebounds 16-10 Rockets, and then of course defensive rebounds 35-29. All right, go ahead and get to these box scores here real quick. We about to see what's really going on out here in these. Of course, my computer is tripping right now. I don't know what's going on. Come on. Box scores. Give me the box scores. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, my computer's tripping. Let me just go exit out of that. Let me see. Yep, it is acting up tonight, y'all. I don't know what's going on. There we go. All right. Anyway, listen, technical difficulty, but the show must go on. So check it out, man. Pretty good game today down the stretch. The Rockets looked like they had the game in hand, especially there in the first half. They had a 17-point lead going into halftime. It was pretty commanding. I thought it was going to be a blowout from the way that their defense was starting to kind of put a chokehold on their off, or should I say, on Cleveland's offense, because we saw how Donovan Mitchell struggled there in the first half. He only had like 2 points. He was 1 for 7. They were completely trapping him and double teaming him on the perimeter to kind of take him out of a rhythm. And I felt like once they started doing that, they took him out of his rhythm, and he kind of started playing into their hands a little bit there in that first half, because the fact that he was not able to get into a rhythm in the first half, I feel like he wasn't being aggressive enough and all those things. And so I feel like that took him out of the game, which hurt the Cleveland Cavaliers offense. You know, he is the 5th leading scorer in the league for a reason. He is the engine that keeps their drives and stuff like that, their offense going for their team. And without him getting it going there in the first half, they fell to nearly 20 points there in the first half. But listen, second half, not the full second half, but I feel like it was like second half of the third quarter is when Cleveland's defense started to step up there. Their defense started to start getting a lot of hands in the passing lanes out there. They were making it harder for the guys on the perimeter to score. I'm gonna get on one of the players for Houston that really stood out. Was a couple of people that stood out for me today, but for them to do what they did to Kevin Durant wasn't efficient. You know, he's known for being a guy who's very efficient. They made it difficult for him. I think he kind of got into a little of a bind there in the third quarter on Cleveland's run there in the third quarter. So that kind of hurt them a little bit as far as Houston, and that's what kind of got them back in the game. That's when Cleveland started getting their rhythm on their offense. The offense started playing a little bit more fast. They was able to hit some of their shots from the perimeter because they struggled at the beginning of the game, which they ended up finishing making 12 threes in the game. And I think a few of those because of Donovan Mitchell. He got hot there in the fourth quarter. But I think once he kind of got hot, it was a little too late because Houston already kind of got their momentum and stuff going into the fourth quarter. Or should I say they got their momentum at the beginning of the game, which kind of hurt Cleveland there and their chances of coming back, which they started coming back, right? They cut the lead down to about 7. And then I think they went into the second half of that fourth quarter. They started getting momentum. Houston couldn't get their offense going. That's why, like I said, when you have guys like DeAndre Hunter and Porter Jr. were out there playing pretty good defense on the perimeter. Even Donovan Mitchell had a couple of deflections out there too, which led to fast breaks and stuff like that. So their offense started to get it going, but I feel like it was probably a little too late at that point. But look, it was a good game. For a team like Houston and the Cavaliers, for it to get down to where it came down to, I mean, it should have been expected. These are 2 top teams in the league right now, 2 favorites in their respective, 2 teams that are looked at to be kind of in the mix in each of their conferences. So I was expecting for it to be kind of a close game today, especially with Cleveland playing at home. So I kind of figured something like this would happen. Not early in the game, but the way the game finished, I definitely expected that. I got a shout out to some people. Greg Porter Jr. for the Cavaliers. He played a pretty solid game, undrafted player. He came in and gave them big help off the bench today, man. He was pretty solid for them. A couple of key defensive plays, couple of key offensive plays. He played pretty well for them. Evan Mobley looked good there in the first half. He kind of was a little bit okay there in the second half. Missing some free throws there that could have helped keep the game a little bit closer there early. I think that's what really hurt them too, was the free throws. For them shooting like, what was it, 20 of 32? That definitely hurt them. This game could have been even closer or maybe even won if they just hit their free throws. I don't think that Cleveland's a bad free throw shooting team. I got to look at the numbers overall for the season, see how they are as a free throw shooting team, but 20 of 32 bad? I don't know if they're that bad. So, but that's what they shot today. Dean Wayne played pretty solid today. I mean, he had his hands full today because he had to guard Şengün. I know that's a hard ask, but I mean, he did what he could. Jared Allen was pretty solid there. I felt like they kind of took him out of the game a little bit later there and kind of leaned on Mobley to kind of guard the paint there because he's able to stretch the floor and help with the offense that they needed to try to get back in the game. So shout out to Jared Allen on that. He had a dunk that was called back for an offensive foul. It felt kind of ticky-tacky to me, but I mean, it is what it is. I kind of thought that was an and one. So, but when they called it back, I mean, technically he did hit him in the face when he went up for the dunk, but I mean, he's still a poster. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a poster. They're gonna still be showing that on SportsCenter, but it is what it is. Trying to think of somebody else that maybe stood out for Cleveland. DeAndre Hunter played pretty solid today. He was one of the reasons why they kind of got back in the game, especially with his defense, helping on Kevin Durant. I feel like it was somebody else I was gonna bring up, man. I'm scanning in my head here. What I feel like this is one of the reasons why I wish I could put the score up and stuff and the box scores and all that stuff without my computer messing up. But I can't remember off the top of my head. But let me go ahead and go to Houston though. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Aaron Holiday. There was a few shots. I don't know if King watched it with the sound on, but listen, there was some shots that Aaron Holiday hit today that shut the crowd up. It was like 3 of them he hit that shut the crowd up. And like you hear him cheering or whatever, and as soon as he hit them shots, the crowd just went completely silent. It's not the fact that I think he had like 14 points today off the bench, man. So shout out to Aaron Holiday, brother Drew Holiday. He played really, really good today. And the shots that he shot today were momentum killing shots. Like whenever Cleveland felt like they had like a little momentum going, they were going to go on a run. Aaron Holiday shut all that up. He was hitting those crucial threes. I think he went fast, it was a deflection on the pass, fast break down the end, on a layup or whatever. But a lot of the shots came from the perimeter for him for the threes. And them threes that he hit today were huge, man. So like I said, it was nasty for Cleveland on the defensive end with Aaron Holiday hitting his shots. Like I said, taking the momentum away from that team, man, when they thought they had it. Let me see. Thompson, of course, one of the Thompson twins, Amon Thompson, man, he played pretty solid today. His defense was pretty solid there, especially down the stretch. The guy's a Swiss Army knife. I told King he kind of reminds me, he's kind of in that vein of like a Sean Marion or somebody like that. Somebody who could do a little bit of everything. And the fact that he's able to affect the game on both ends, man, that bodes well for him. One of the young up-and-coming rising stars in the league. Them trusting him and putting more on his plate for this team. And you see him growing each year. It bodes well for him, bodes well for the team. Because a guy like that, man, if he can continue to grow and do some of the things that he's known for doing for that team, Houston got something. I think King asked me before about the pecking order of the squad. And just watching the game today, I think I'm confident in saying that, Şengün, then Thompson, and then Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant being like 37, going on 38 years old, you should not have to ask for him to continue to carry a team or whatever, or be a main offensive hub or whatever. So that's good that he's in the position that he's in for this team. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, like I said, he's older. You want to keep him fresh. You don't want to put too much on him because you're going to definitely need him for the playoffs. And I feel like at that position, that pecking order, he could be effective. So shout out to Amon Thompson on that. But listen, I gotta get on Şengün, man. Man, Şengün is nice. Now, the one thing I did not like about what Şengün did today was the fact that a lot of the plays that were drawn for him, that for him to score, were they started him at the perimeter. We saw earlier in the game where he was operating more in the paint, about 5 to 7 feet away from the basket. He was unstoppable. I mean, he was still unstoppable at points at the top of the perimeter, but I would have felt comfortable with him operating more from 5 to 7 feet. I didn't like the fact that he was operating 22 to 23 feet out and having to create off a dribble and then get to the post and then having to score. You have somebody set you up in the post from, like I said, from 7 to 5 feet out. You know what I'm saying? That way it would have been easier. But either way, it looked like he was dominating, man. At one point, I think they put Mobley on him. They put D Wade on him. They put Allen on him. And they put Hunter on him for a little bit. It didn't matter. The dude was just looking unstoppable in the post, man. And he got that little, that kind of like funky back down where his whole entire body is leaned. And then he has that little sky hook, that little soft little hook in the paint, man, where he was just dominant today. So, listen, it's looking like right now, I know people think when you think of Houston, you think of KD because, he's KD or whatever. But that team's not going to go, or should I say the team's only going to go as far as Şengün takes them. Now, hopefully Şengün, learning from the Euro games, Euro games or whatever it was, FIBA games, one of them. Hopefully he learned from that, and I think he said he has. He learned from that, and hopefully that helps him to build on something and moving forward and helping him to develop something in the playoffs. Because we already said before, that's where you make your name as in the playoffs. You're looking good in the regular season. Can that transfer over to the playoffs? They said they're the number one offensive rated team in the league. And watching today, being able to score and be effective from all parts of the court today. Oh, that's another person too I've got to talk about. Jabari Smith. Man, I like it when they had Jabari Smith on the court with Amon Thompson. I like that duo together. Young, athletic, long defenders. You know what I'm saying? So I like those two being on the court together. And they complement a guy like Şengün, who's not really quick or whatever, more lumbering. Those two guys complement him pretty well. So I like that. I like that pairing. And Jabari Smith has definitely worked on his game over the offseason. I definitely got to give him props on that. I kind of thought he was just like one of those he is what he is type players, but he's shown, especially I'm not throwing him under the bus or anything, but guy like Jalen Green, who commanded a lot of the offense. You move a guy like that out the way. Now you're starting to see these guys starting to develop their offensive game along with their talent on the defensive end. So shout out to Jabari Smith, man. He played pretty well too. Like I said, the starting lineup was nice today, man. I like the starting lineup. I think Eason got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. Because I didn't see him in the game, so I think he's hurt. Like I said, Aaron Holiday off the bench was pretty solid for them. That's one of those teams that I thought maybe after that first game they played against OKC that they were going to need a point. I mean, they still need a point guard, but it's like I thought they were going to struggle, dramatically without a point guard. I got to give Reed Sheppard his props, man. He had some pretty big threes today. He was facilitating for them today too, being able to get into the paint and draw the defenses to him and kicking into guys in the corners for threes. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Reed Sheppard today too, because I think they were saying on the broadcast that the coaching staff and the players on the team are starting to gain a trust in Reed Sheppard. So because I remember last year, man, he was unplayable. I think he didn't even really play last year. He might have averaged like 2 points or something like that when he did play, but. So shout out to Reed Sheppard. He's now one of the key players in their rotation too. So, like I said, I like the Houston team, man. They got potential. Just imagining how dangerous they would have been if they had still had Fred VanVleet. That would have been interesting, but he's gonna be out for the season. So, but other than that, man, they got a pretty nice squad. Cleveland is they put up a good game today, man. So I'm not mad at Cleveland. Like I said, it could have been ugly. It could have been ugly, especially after the first half. When they were down by 17, it could have been ugly. So I could definitely got to shout out Cleveland for that, man. But yeah, like I said, other than that, that's pretty much my takeaways from this game today, man. So let me go ahead and give y'all my player of the game. My player of the game is going to be, drum roll, it's going to be Alfred Şengün. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Like I said, the way the dude dominated there, especially in that third quarter early. So when they had Cleveland started going on that run, I think they caused 2 turnovers on Kevin Durant, and they went straight back to Şengün off the bench to come back in the game to kind of help stabilize everything on the offensive end. So, yeah, Şengün was nice today, man. Like I said, he looked unstoppable. They had 4 different guys guarding him on 4 different parts of the game today. And so, like I said, he did pretty good, in my opinion. Very solid, looking like an all-star shoe-in this year. Look like I was gonna say like a baby Joker, but he's not a passer like Joker. He could pass, but he's not that much of a passer like Joker is. So, but yeah, Şengün definitely gets the player of the game for me today. All right, man. Let me show some love real quick, man, to the app that we watch all these games on, and that's Playback.
Thank you to our friends over at Playback for this segment. Pause. If you're tired of the national media and the annoying ways they sometimes cover sports and other events, give the Glow Sun Production channel on Playback a try. We cover new and old school basketball, wrestling, and geek culture. And just recently, we've added boxing, mixed martial arts, anime, and even video gaming. So if you have time in your busy day, give our channel on Playback a look and check out some of our replays while you're at it. Another special shout out to our favorite at Playback. Back to the show.
Yes, sir. Listen, guys, we stream all of the games that we talk about here on the channel on Playback. We literally stream every day. There is a game on every day on Playback, guys. So you can follow us over there on Playback by simply scroll down to the description box. We have a link there in the description box below. Click on that. Join us every day. Whatever games that we show on Mondays, Wednesdays, and if it's a West Coast game on Thursday evenings, those are the games that we do the post games for. So there's no post game this Friday. We're trying to put something together for Friday for you guys. So stay tuned for that. We will have a show tomorrow though. But yeah, so we normally have our post games. Whatever game we show on Monday, we had a post game that evening. Whatever game we show on Wednesday, we have a post game for that. And whatever West Coast game we show on Thursday evening, we would do a post game on Friday morning. So follow us over on Playback, man, and join us over here for the post games. All right, let's get into these questions and comments, y'all.
Sponsored by True Classic.
The most interesting customer came into True Classic today. A young man came in right when the doors opened and said he had a job interview in just 30 minutes. The challenge, or so he thought, he had about $150 to work with. Now, in most places, that's a fancy shirt, maybe some nice socks. But at True Classic, when you add more, you save more. So not only did I set him up with a pair of our 4-way stretch chinos, not only did I set him up with one of our white button-down shirts, I even helped him complete the look with one of our coach's jackets. All for just $130. So he found his fit, looked great for his interview, and I'm pretty sure he got the job too. That's true value.
All right, man. Let's see who we got in here today. Shout out to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What up, Daniel? Y'all follow him also too here on YouTube. Daniel Berry. He also says, "Hey" on the other. So we're posting this. We're posting this show twice. We got a telephone version and of course the regular version, guys. So shout out to Daniel, man. He's supporting on both of those. Thank you, man. Ty, what's good? What you say? Holiday was money. Listen, from that, I think he was scoreless in the first half, but from that third quarter on, I swear to you, like I said, if you watched it and listened to the crowd, every shot he shot from the third quarter on to the end of the game, I kid you not, I paid attention to it. The crowd got quiet on every shot he hit because the shots he was hitting were like the big shots. Like he was hitting it at a moment where it's like, okay, they're on a momentum. 3. Oh, dang. Okay, we're on a momentum. 3. Ah, dang. Oh, momentum. Up, layup, fast break. It's like, dang. And so shout out to, like I said, shout out to Aaron Holiday, man. He was definitely money today. Definitely money coming off the bench for Houston. They need that too. Every bit of them shots. Like I said, his shots were definitely momentum killers for Cleveland today. My guy BA in the building, man. He said Shane Goon gets bulk pause, but KD closes. Yeah, it was different today though, BA. It was different today. It was all Shane Goon today. So shout out to him, man. Like I said, they had KD's number a little bit today, man, because he struggled there, especially in that third quarter. He had a couple of turnovers. They sat Shane Goon and Thompson down for a little bit. He had a couple of crucial turnovers that kind of started a momentum thing there in the third quarter. Yeah, third quarter. It was third quarter, and they ended up putting Shane Goon and them back in the game. And like I said, when Shane Goon came, like they had 4 different defenders guarding Shane Goon today, man. He went through all of them. So shout out to Shane Goon, man. But that you would think that's how it would normally be, but it would definitely Shane Goon today. And then he also said Shane Goon needs a playoff series versus Denver and learn from Joker. Yeah, man, that'd be. You know what? And I hope because there's so many games we got to cover with it. But I would like to see a Houston versus Denver. I want to see Shane Goon against Joker, which is crazy to me too because they play Shane Goon a little bit at power forward too. They'll play him times with Clint Capella, and then they'll play him with Steven Adams. They did it today. They had him at the 4. And so that was a mismatch problem for Cleveland because their 4s are normally guys like in certain lineups where Mobley's at the 5, they'll have like a Hunter or a Dean Wade at the 4. And those guys are having to guard Shane Goon. And he's putting them down at the block and scoring every time. So it's like, that's why, but yeah, I want to see him play against Denver, man. That's a game I definitely want to see sometime this year. Hopefully we can catch that game. Hopefully it's not another game we're trying to cover at the time, but there's some definitely a matchup I want to see right there, man. So yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, man, listen, I definitely appreciate y'all, man, hanging out with me, man. I know King's not here. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. He'll be back tomorrow. I'm glad you guys are hanging out with me, man. Let me talk your ears off. But listen, if you guys are new, you're into NBA content, like I said before, simply hit that subscribe button, man. Join us here, man, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. Some Friday mornings, I should say. If we have a West Coast game on Thursday night, we'll cover the game on Friday mornings. But follow us here, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. We talk about all things NBA related. Also, too, man, if you want to become a member of the channel, you can join us here every Friday morning. We got something for the members every Friday morning by simply hitting that join button right there next to the subscribe button and becoming a member of the channel, man. Like I said, we normally have shows. If we don't have a West Coast game that we show on Thursday, we normally have our regular members only shows where the members join us here on stage and talk NBA conversations. So also too, man, shout out to BA. Follow me on my other channel, Cause We Geeked, where we talk about all things in the geek culture involving movies and television. Me, BA, Big J, and my cuz Will. We have shows every Tuesday evening and Saturday morning, y'all. So y'all can join us for that. We've been talking about Welcome to Derry. So you guys can join us for those conversations. We have a show this Saturday morning. So y'all can join us there too, man. Like I said, if you're into comic book movies and television and video game movies and television shows and all that type of stuff, anime, whatever it is, man, we talk about all that over there. So y'all guys can join us for that every Tuesday evening and Saturday morning, man. We get our geek on. Also, too, I don't know what King usually say, but man, follow his channel, him BA, Queen, Trav, and sometimes Devin. Follow him over there on We Talk Combats, man. They talk about all things in WWE, wrestling, some MMA. I know they're going to talk about Jake Paul's upcoming fight he's going to be having with the what is it? Well, the MMA fight, but yeah, you're going to be talking about all that there on Sunday. So y'all follow them every Sunday afternoon around about 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. So subscribe over there too, guys, if you're into that. Anything combat related, like I said, WWE and all them good things. Y'all guys can follow them over there too. Let me see if anything else I'm forgetting, man. I guess that's about it. So yeah, listen, guys, we will be back here tomorrow, man, for a nice little special conversation with you guys. Just kind of recapping what we've been seeing so far during the week and other news that's dropped here for the NBA. We'll talk about all that tomorrow around 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern. So you guys can join us for that. But listen, until then, man, it's your boy Relle. King will be back on tomorrow. This is Cap and Crown. We talk about all things NBA related. We'll be back tomorrow. Same cap time, same crown channel. As he would say, no cap, cap and crown. And I don't have nothing crazy tonight, man. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm going to bed and I'm out.